This recipe we're making today is so delicious. It is really easy to make and it only takes a few ingredients. So here at the bottom of our crock pot, we're starting off with 2 cans of this green enchilada sauce. And then right here next to me, I picked up some chicken thighs. So you can use chicken thighs or chicken breasts for this recipe, whichever is your preference. I kind of like doing chicken thighs in the crock pot because as we slow cook it for a few hours, the meat just gets so tender. And I feel like the chicken thighs just have a little bit more flavor. So just go ahead and submerge the chicken thighs. It is gonna cook so nicely in the sauce and we're gonna get all of the flavor. Next, we're gonna do a little bit of seasoning. So we're just gonna grab some onion powder, not too much, but a little bit kind of goes a long way. And then we're gonna add in some garlic powder. I don't like doing any salt because the enchilada sauce from the can is a little salty. So we got that covered. And next, before we put it in to cook, we're gonna grab some tortillas. So just go ahead and open these up, and this is gonna be the fun part. So we can just grab them and we are just gonna roll them up like this, and we are just gonna cut it with scissors to kind of get these tortilla strips. So we're gonna cut up about the whole packet, and I'm telling you, as this cooks, this is such an easy dinner to make. You can see we only have 3 ingredients so far, but it is enough to feed a whole family. So just go ahead very quickly. Look, you can even grab like a big stack of this, and you can cut these beforehand if you want to make them nice and even, but I feel like once it all cooks together, this is the fastest way to do it, so I am just looking for convenience. So I'm just gonna quickly cut up the rest of these tortillas and we will be good to go. So I'm just gonna quickly cut up the last of this. I feel like I got a good amount in there. We don't want the tortillas to overpower all the ingredients that we have inside. So after you cut a bunch, just go ahead and mix it around. And this is looking like enough for me. So I'm just gonna quickly submerge it all under that green enchilada sauce. That is gonna be the main star of our show. And once you have it all submerged, or at least all covered in the sauce, we can go ahead and put the lid on. And this is gonna cook on high for about 4 hours. So here we go, just after about 3.5 to 4 hours of cooking, everything is nice and cooked. So next, we're just gonna grab a bowl. We're just gonna fish out some of the chicken. I just find it easier to shred in a little bowl instead of the crock pot, just because we have all of the tortilla strips. But if you want, you could totally just shred it up in here, maybe shred some of the tortilla strips, but I'm just gonna shred this up real quick. And now that we have it all shredded up, we can go ahead and pour it right back into our crock pot. We are almost ready to dig in. So let me tell you, this just smells so amazing. As soon as you open up the crock pot, you get all the aroma from the green enchilada sauce. It is my favorite. So next, we're gonna be adding in some cheese. So I like doing this at the very end, just because it was such a long cook time. I feel like when you add the cheese in there, it gets a little watery and it gets a little weird. But if you add the cheese in after it is done cooking with all of the residual heat from the crock pot, it melts just as easy. And I just find it to taste a lot better. So go ahead and stir it around a little bit. It should only take like 10 or 15 seconds or so for all the cheese to get nice and melted, and we are ready to dig in. So next we can just go ahead and grab a ladle, because this is like an enchilada soup, so it is just so tasty. You can see we got all the nice big chunks of tortilla strip in there. Let's go ahead and give this one a taste. All right, you guys, Bon Appetit. Let's go ahead and see how this one tastes. Oh my God, I just love green enchiladas so much. I feel like I want to take a bite of the chicken with the cheese and the enchilada sauce. Highly recommend. I already know it's good before I take a bite into it. I'm telling you, use chicken thighs instead of chicken breasts for this recipe and you will thank me later. Enjoy.